And another thing about the argument, too, I'd like to point out is that torture does not work. Anyone with any intelligence background would tell you that. Anyone in the CIA who has tried to get information out of people will tell you that torture gives you nothing. And the reason why it gives you nothing is when you torture someone, they will tell you literally anything you want to hear, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. Likewise, they could tell you some random thing in order to get you to stop torturing them, but you have no way of knowing whether it's really the truth or whether it's a distortion of the truth or whether it's complete nonsense. You know, if you're torturing someone and he really knows where a bomb is, well, why wouldn't he just tell you some other place? How would you know? How would you know he was telling you the truth? You won't. Say you're torturing someone who has no idea where the bomb is, and he tells you that it's some location, some random location, just to get you to stop. Well, you can spend a lot of time going and looking for that bomb while it's exploding. So, again, the way to prevent such a scenario is to either talk to the person amicably, gain their trust, and find out where the bomb is, just like they did in World War II. I mean, they had Nazis that they had to interrogate, and they played chess with those people. They talked to them, they respected them, they gained their trust, and it didn't take any time at all before those people were telling them anything they wanted to hear. And you know, those people were in prison anyway. They didn't care. They didn't have anyone else to talk to. It was all over anyway. And it's the same thing with any prisoner. And you know, other than that, how about some good old-fashioned police work? Go find out. You know, it's the way it's been done forever, and there's no reason why we can't keep doing it. So anyway, that's my little spiel on torture. Torture is an abominable practice. It's reprehensible, and the fact that we are even having the argument about torture, even arguing about it, means that we have failed in a very great way in this country. It's a huge, huge, colossal failure on our part that we even consider torturing people and talk about it as if it's, you know, something that might possibly be okay. And at the same time, our government is constantly doing it. And the reason why they do it is to send us a message. And I want to make that very clear. Just like I said before, torture doesn't work. If you ask anyone in the government, they will tell you the same thing, that torture does not work. And they know that. They know that they're not going to get any information. They have never gotten any information. They have never made any convictions. They've never gotten anything useful, and they know it. And we know it. And the reason why they're doing it is to intimidate us. Because in the back of our minds, we know that our government is capable, willing, and currently torturing people as we speak. We know that. And it's meant for us to know it. It's a classic technique of any fascist regime. And if you don't believe that our government is becoming a fascist regime right now, you might want to read Naomi Wolf's book, The End of America. And it spells it all out for you. There's 10 steps that turn a democratic country into a dictatorship. Our government is currently going through all 10 of those steps. And also, I might add, our government has implemented those 10 steps in countries all over the world to remove democratic governments which may or may not do what we want them to do, with dictatorships which, for a little bit of bribery, can be made to do whatever we want them to do. And it has no bearing on what the people want, because they're there whether the people want them there or not. So our government is not only willing to shut down democracy, it has repeatedly shut down democracy many times over, all over the world. And not only that, but our government maintains a school called the School for the Americas, where it teaches potential military strongmen how to do the 10 steps that shut down a democracy. So you don't have to believe me, just do some research, do some Googling, and look it up, and look into what our government has been doing secretly for the past 40 or 50, maybe 60 years. You know, ever since World War II, we have had a worldwide empire, and we've maintained it by setting up people that we could bribe and bribing them, by invading countries covertly and overtly. And you know, we have 700 military bases in 130 countries all over the world right now, and just look it up. I mean, it's a number that is hard. It's incredible. It's hard to believe, but if you look it up, it's true. And why is that? Do we really need troops in 130 countries in the world? Do they really need us there that bad? I don't think we need that. I don't think they need it. I think that there's a small group of people who are running things right now that might need it. And that gets me back to the part, I don't want to go too long on this, but I want to get back to why I support Ron Paul. Ron Paul, as much as people say that he's loony or crazy or, you know, a crackpot, that he doesn't make any sense or that he's not a serious candidate, people can say that all they want. But if you look at Ron Paul's positions and what he talks about, there's a very small set of things that he talks about. He talks about obeying the Constitution. He talks about freedom. He talks about personal responsibility. He talks about non-interventionism, which is not isolationism, by the way. Non-interventionism means that we do not interfere militarily in the internal affairs of other countries. In other words, we do not try to control other countries. That's all he talks about. Peace, freedom, real prosperity with sound money system. And that's it. You know, there's that, the Constitution. That is what people are calling crazy. That is what leads people to tell you and me in the media over and over again that he can never win, that he will not win. And he is the only one that I know of, by the way, that they say will not win. No one else ever gets that question. But he gets that question constantly. Well, you won't win. Why is that? And there's a reason. Because, you know, the people that are behind the media are the same people that are behind the government. They're the corporatocracy, if you will, the ruling class, which is made up of, you know, individuals and corporations. And they like the system the way it is now because it allows them to profit off of the wars that we make. And it allows them to funnel the wealth of the middle class and the poor into their own pockets. And that's what the Federal Reserve does. The Federal Reserve is a bank that, you know, basically controls money and inflates money so that the elite and the powerful can use more of it and we can use less. You know, for instance, when they want more money, they just print more money, and that makes our money worth less. So in effect, they're taking money out of your savings account every day and putting it in theirs. That's why I support Ron Paul's monetary policy.